Hello and welcome back for another episode of Drawsome. And this week we are going to be drawing Lavender. Nope, not feet. Lavender. Yeah, we're going to do some botanicals. So this should be quite educational, I do believe, for everybody. Now, we all know I retired my purple pencil because I can't get out to get any purple lead for it, so I've been using this. But I did drag out a purple Staedtler colored pencil, so we could be using the combo of the two. So let's do that. So I've got my reference photos up on my screen. I just Googled lavender and came up with a whole slew of beautiful purple pictures. So I think what I shall do is just start filling these pages with some botanical lavender. I think I'm going to draw that one first because it is super pretty. Oh, it's got yellow in it too. Goodness. So let's drag out a yellow one as well. So, if you've ever looked at a lavender, now everybody's seen the lavender that's drawn, you know, and it's just little fuzzy dots at the tops, and then, you know, leaves. And that's kind of a cheater's way of doing it without actually looking at how the flowers are formed on a lavender plant. So it's, yeah. Let's draw the actual flower and what it looks like. So it has its stem, and it looks like it's a pretty sturdy stalk. Not very fragile looking. And then it's got little flower petals that come up. Everything's working its way to the top to a point. And then there's like a little flower center. That's the yellow bit that I was talking about. And then we just keep going up with these unusual little, they're not quite pointy. Some of them are more pointy and then others are more rounded, if that makes any sense. It's almost like a pod, and then it breaks open, and then, yeah, you kind of get my idea. Yeah, let's see, little flowers here and there. And those are the yellow ones. And then there's this one here. It's almost like a flower inside of a flower. And it's just a little white thing like that. I do believe today's tutorial is going to be very short. And let's see. This one kind of comes over. Like so. Now, to give it that real lavender look, I'm going to color in these little yellow flowers. Like so. Oh, and there's another white one coming out here. And they have purple centers. And let's see, the down here is quite dark. So we'll darken those up. Probably just using graphite. And then purple around here, and it starts getting lighter as it goes up, which I did not know it was shaped like such and colored like this. Just keep going like this. until we get to the top. Make sure we go around that little flower, the little white one, so you can see that it's white. Like that. And it just keeps getting lighter and lighter as it goes up. But it stays purple. It's the same color purple, just lighter shade of it. And then, I'm just going to go back here and shade the darker parts. Oh, and the stalk had a dark side also. It almost looks as if the stalk has like sides to it. Like it's not round, it's more like octagon shaped. Like that. So that's probably the reason for these lines. Just color in some of these darker bits. Like so. So then we have the shadows behind each petal, and you see how they layer. Just make those darker beneath. Like that. Lavender. So, I need a green. Is that green? No, that's blue. Oh, come on, green. Where are you? I think you're green. Yep, you're green. So, here's interesting about this lavender stem. It's not green. It is almost like a fuzzy white with gray. But the leaves are green. So you would have this very long, thin, like such. That would be lavender. So let's keep this party going by drawing in like a bunch of lavender. Which, again, this would be your easier way of drawing it, simply because when you have such small things bunched together like that, you just want to give the impression of what you're drawing. You don't have to get overly, you know, detailed with it. You're just going to give the impression. So, this picture I have, it's lots of stalks. And then they're tied with a stalk. At least that's what it looks like. And that's when some of these come up a little longer. You'll start drawing in it's almost like a I don't even know how to explain it. See how, remember how these went, everything went up, all the little petals pointed up? All these indicator lines should be pointing towards the tip of the bunch. Like that. Almost like a feather. But see, these also, excuse me, have a roundedness to them so that you can see that there's like a little petal sticking up. And that they're individuals, unlike a feather. And they are bigger at the bottom, like a feather. And this is just a repetitive thing here, so I'll just zip through this so you can kind of get the gist of what I'm doing. So there you go. That would be a bunch of lavender. It's not as filled out as the picture I'm looking at, but it still gives you an idea. Oh, that's lavender. So this is where we're talking about indication lines that lead the viewer to you know, their brain filling things in. And it just goes to show you that you can, with very few lines, still indicate what it is you're trying to convey. Same as this, like, the little cheater's way of doing it. And this, literally, you could paint this, watercolor it with, you know, watercolors or acrylics or oils. I mean, this is just your basic, oh, that's lavender. Now, if you were going to do a more illustrative type look, which is botanical drawing is very detailed, so you would get in there to like really get in all the detail, and it's like what you find in guidebooks and things like that. It used to be quite the art form back in its day. You would just lots and lots of detail in these florals, and it was for people who like, well, I wonder, it was almost like for encyclopedia use. Or like if you were out in, you know, bird watching or whatever, and you came across a plant, you didn't know what it was, you would be able to look it up in the book and say, oh, this looks like that, so that must be what it is. So there's your different ways of conveying, again, what it is you're trying to get across, whether it's seriously simplistic or highly detailed or somewhere in between. So that is our lavender for today. If you drew along with me, I would really appreciate it if you put your drawings up on Instagram and tagged me and Lori at TheLoriFiles in your pictures on Instagram and put the hashtag drawsomesquad so we can take a look and maybe put you on next week's video like this chick here. She's been a real good follower. We have several people who every week make sure that they follow along and post their pictures, so I hope everybody else does the same, because we'd love to see what you have drawn along with us. So until my next video, I really do love you all bunches. Bye.